G'day viewers, welcome to another super cool repair video from the Goat Shed. Today we're going to be doing an Abra Dabra. Now I emphasise this isn't the Abra that we have done the playfield swap. This was another machine that was in the queue to be done. So this one has been cleaned up and we're about to start the troubleshooting in a few moments. But today is Wednesday the 15th of February 2023 and it's a balmy 25 degrees Celsius outside, which equates to about 77 degrees Fahrenheit. It's quite humid today and it's partly cloudy, so when there's more cloud the humidity can't escape and it gets very sticky. So just another reminder, if this is the first time you've viewed our channel, we'd love you to subscribe and give us the thumbs up to all of our videos. And for those people that want repair help, we have a Facebook page called the Goat Shed EM Repair Specialist. That's where we like to give all our help. We have other group experts there that help us out, and that way everybody learns how to fix something. So let's go and have a look at this Abra that we've done and show you where we're up to. Just a glimpse in what's happening in the backyard of the Goat Shed at the moment. We've got the builders in and a back deck is being built so Spanky can entertain guests in his private time. There's the builder hard at work, and that particular builder is the one that builds the pinball cabinets. A very famous man.
We don't even know.
So here's the abracadabra that we've been working on. Spanky's just having a look there. Look, we have one thing to do at the moment, and that's make that plastic that goes up behind the target, the bottom piece that always breaks. The plastics haven't been changed on this. They were the ones that came with it. Although, oh yeah, we had a broken one, a left-hand one, and we had a good left-hand one from that playfield changeover, so we put that on. So overall, like, this playfield's not in the best of condition. It's in a hell of a lot better condition than the one we swapped the other day. Now, what we'll do, we'll do a start in a moment. There's one thing that we are concerned about. Someone has run a wire from a Jones plug in the back, and that goes up to... Yeah, so it went from the start relay through a Jones plug in the head up to the AX relay. We've got a feeling it was set up for like a hack for free play, so we're not sure. So this abracadabra, of course, is a game with the infamous half moon credit unit, so we're not even sure if it'll start a game at 0 credits, but we're about to find out. Now, one thing we haven't done yet is the pop bumpers aren't connected, because we're waiting for a pop bumper repair kit to arrive, which we should get tomorrow, but that's hopefully not going to stop us from testing the machine. So let's see what happens here, and we can hope for a reset. Here we go. Nothing happened, as expected. Right, so nothing's happened. So that's the first thing we're going to have to look at and see what's going on and try and work out why the game won't start. Right, so what we've discovered is that we forgot to plug the score motor in. So we'll plug that in now and away we go. We'll see what happens.
Oh, we just knocked a few crates up.
Right, so let's see where we go from here. Now, one other thing that you'll notice about this cabinet, it's got the hole in it there for some reason.
I know what it was for, because it had a bar across with it.
Yeah, and it got one on the other side as well. So someone's had one of those security bars on it, you know, to stop people breaking in, I guess. I don't know why. I guess, you know, it had to be done in some locations, but it doesn't look good, does it? All right, well, now we've plugged the motor back in. Let's actually see if we get a reset. Hopefully we will.
Credits.
And it served a ball. Okay, now as I said, we have no pop bumpers. We're really only doing this to establish that the machine is working. Those pop bumper parts should arrive tomorrow. I think I already mentioned that. We've got to fabricate that plastic up the top there. Okay, so there you go, it's scoring. Let's drop a target down. Well, there's something not right there, so we'll have to have a look at that.
The bullseye's stuck on, that's all it is.
Oh, there you go, the bullseye was stuck on. Rightio, so now I might mention on that bullseye, we did have that out earlier today, and we had a spinning pad, a switchblade contact pad on one of the switches, so we had to pull that apart. So when we put it back in, we've just not set it right.
Well, that's not paying right. That should pay 5,000, but it's not.
Okay, so we're going through the scores, and we've got the bonus value up to 5,000, but it's not scoring 5,000. So we'll have to have a look at that and see what's going on. We've got a low point, 10-point switch here on the playfield, another one there.
Seems to be carrying over.
Right, we've got our special lit. Well, we're on 9 credits, so it's not going to do anything even if we hit it. Gee, that was a bad move, wasn't it, that half moon credit unit, particularly on multiplayer games. The problem is, of course, is that, you know, if 4 players play and you've got 5 games, or 6, and everyone gets a replay, someone misses out. It was really done for security, I'm told, to try and... There's no way if anyone drilled a hole through that back glass you could actually move that unit. They're really hard to move manually anyway. We have previously done a video on how to service those half moon credit units. I'd encourage anyone that has a game that needs to know a little bit about it to have a look at those, and that will give you an insight into it. Alright, well, what we're going to do now, we can see that most things are working. We'll just check the switches behind the drop targets. Were they working, Graham? Yep, you're getting 100 points.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so we've got to figure out why we're not getting 5,000 points.
Flippers working.
The flippers are working, but they've got to be adjusted yet. So we've got a little bit of work to do on this, and like I said, the first thing we're going to do is try and discover why. Oh, that's gone berserk again.
It's just not resetting. That's nothing.
There you go.
We'll fix it. It's not.
Anyway, we've got to have a look why they're not resetting, and what we'll also do is investigate a couple of lights on the playfield that aren't working. All right.
But it's very close.
Rightio, so we've discovered why the machine was going a little bit berserk there. What it turned out to be was that the sequence bank under the playfield wasn't resetting, and it was causing a few issues, so to speak. Now, it was a motor switch that was causing that, and we've readjusted that switch. It was just touching a little lightly. Allow me to show you on the schematic what was happening. So here we have the sequence bank reset, and there's the coil here, and what happens is we obviously have to get power from here to here, and if we have a look at the circuit, there is a fuse in that circuit. Well, it wasn't the fuse because the bank was trying to reset. You could sort of see it making a little bit of an effort, and generally when you see things like that as the motor turns, it's often to do with a motor switch. And if you look right over here, we have motor switch 2C. Now motor switch 2C, to make that circuit through the sequence at startup, it wasn't resetting on startup either when we carefully looked. It's got to go through 2C, it's got to close through S, and then it can go across and reset the sequence bank. The other side is when it's the game is in play, we've got the E, C and D and G relays. Now the E, C and D, E relay is the advanced bonus relay. The C is the left target relay. And what else did we say? The E, oh, we already said the E, C. D is the right target relay. And the G is the 500 point relay. So that was our culprit there, motor switch 2C. Okay, so once we got that going, it sort of fixed most of our problems that we were having. Alright, so now we can start the machine up and do a bit more testing. Righto, so it successfully served a ball into the shooter lane. Now, initial inspection and general servicing of this game, we started off with the back box. We inspected all the mechanisms and cleaned relays. We pulled all the score reels apart. We did the checked out the credit unit, that's the word we're looking for, and we found one thing with that credit unit which we discovered was that someone had set it up so that once you got credits on there it wouldn't reset, so there was a hack. So we removed a wiring hack from the game. The other problem we found when we removed all the score reels, they all worked fairly well, but 3 score reels had ender strokes which is missing off them, which is potential for trouble. We then moved on to the motorboard. We found a wire off a relay by visual inspection, and when we started to clean some of the motor switches with the Dremel tool, we discovered that there were a couple with spinning contact pads. Now, one was actually motor 1C, the running up switch for the score motor. Now, that pad was quite loose, and what that'll often do, we've seen this once or twice before, when they come so loose, what happens is the score motor, it loses power, the voltage drops away because the pad's not making good contact, and the motor will stop short of home. And of course this prevents things like playfield switches from closing that operates things on the playfield, and lights and all sorts of funny things. So we've fixed that up by removing that switch, and we just clean the back of it where the bud goes, and we drop a dab of solder on that. Then we moved on to switch 3C, and we found another one which was bad. And that switch had to do with the right target bank relay, which is relay D. It's a normally closed switch, so if that switch wasn't getting power, that particular relay wouldn't work. So this game's from 1975, and that is around about the era when you did start to get some of this. 75, 76, we've noticed this. So the playfield, top and bottom, we've replaced the skirts in the bumpers. So far we've replaced 8 lamp holders there, and they're to do with the 1, 2, 3, 4 up the top and the bottom. They've got to be a light, so its features, you've got to see where you're up to. No good having those lights out, you think you've got them out and they're not, because the trip bag hasn't tripped. We actually had to fix every one of those inserts, 1, 2, 3, 4, top and bottom. They all fell out. When we put the lamp sockets in and we went to clean the black gump from underneath, they just all popped out, so they've all been glued back in. Now we use wood glue, so we've taken each insert obviously out of the game, cleaned it, and then cleaned the edges with isopropyl, dried it off, we've put it in. And when you replace those, you don't put the glue on the edge of the insert, you put it on the edge of the wood inside. That way it fits in and the glue doesn't ooze back out again. So that's a little tip for you. Now, when we commenced our troubleshooting earlier on, you'll recall that the machine wouldn't start because we'd left the motor jack wire out. Okay, that was remedied, and then once again we noticed that the sequence bank wouldn't reset because of that motor switch 2C. So that's all been repaired now. And we had some problems with the scoring, and what that turned out to be was a switch in the I relay, which is one of those FSAS relays. There's 3 switches in there. One of the switches just wasn't quite touching right, so we remedied that. Now, the rule sets of this game aren't deep, but the whole idea of this game is to complete the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 2 chances, and at the top of the playfield and down the bottom without losing the ball. And each time you score, you reset a 1, 2, 3, 4. It will advance like this. So that's now clicked up to 2. So that's how that works. Completing both the drop targets lights the centre target up the top there with the bullseye. And when that's lit, it increases the bonus value and resets the drop target. So we'll hit that now. Notice the bonus went up to 3 and the drop target's reset.
And the lit one now's worth 3.
Now, you can see that target in the top left or top right, the lamp is alight there. I'll just point to that. Hitting either of those targets will score the value of 3,000 points. There you go. Now, completing 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence scores a special, or sorry, I'll repeat that. Completing 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence scores special when bonus value is 5,000. So if we get that bonus value up to 5,000,
with the drop targets down.
Knock all the drop targets down. Now we've got the special alight, and if we hit that, you'll hear it's got a good knocker on it, and that resets. Now, the centre target lit for special when the bonus value is 5,000 and all the drop targets are down. That's how that works. So we've got one replay. So that's basically the rule set of this game. Now, we're just allowing the inserts that we had to re-glue in to dry before we start rolling the ball over them. But essentially, everything's working on it now. So it's pretty much just a bit more testing, and we'll be relatively happy with this game. Oh, I wish we could see wedge heads in here every day. Single player game, wedge head. They're so much more fun to work on than 4-player games. There's a lot less trouble with them.
Got 2 to do next.
Yeah, and we've got a fireball coming up and a fantasy. So that'll be something to look forward to. So you heard we've got the chimes all connected up on this. The flippers are all right. So we put a new flipper kit in and new pop bumper kit. Makes a big difference. They're not that expensive, and they're really well worth it. So yeah, this machine is pretty well good to go. So once again, we remind you to please subscribe to our channel. We greatly appreciate that. Give us any feedback in the comments section down below. And this has been another GoShared presentation.